Welcome to this Pro Presenter 7 training video, and on this video we will be looking at importing songs, and there's two ways of doing that. One is via a system called Song Select, and one is doing it manually. So we're going to look at both ways today, so this video will be slightly longer. Let's dive into number one, how to bring in new songs via Song Select. So, say you're in a rehearsal or on a Sunday and the band start playing a new song that hasn't been put into your presentation yet, it's not on this list, then you're going to have to import it. Luckily, there's a very quick way to do it if it's quite a common song, and then a slightly longer way if it's something slightly more niche. So, let's look at that easy way first. We're going to go to the top. We're going to go File, we're going to go Import, and we're going to go Song Select. Song Select is an external library which holds nearly all songs that are registered. So generally you'll find this solution will work. We're going to put in the title of our song. You can just do keywords as well. If you haven't got the title, you can put this in. And then you'll see a whole selection of songs. So we want this first one. If you click on it, you get the title, the artist. That might help you narrow it down. And then it'll give you a preview of some of the lyrics. But you can click through until you find the right one. You'll see some of these titles start to drift from what I've typed in, and that's because they're then starting to work on keywords. If you click here, this will actually just search within your Pro Presenter library, and this is for Song Select. So once you've identified the right song, you can come over here and go Import. Now, quick import window just to help you get things in the right format as quick as possible. First thing is how the slides are being broken up. So this will depend on how your site displays Songword's lyrics. Today we're going to look at the 2-line example. So we want the Songwords to be broken up at the end of the line with 2 lines per slide. You can also do it by paragraph. Coming down to presentation, 1920 by 1080 is the default, and that's the one you're looking for. That's the resolution we run across all the Keref sites. Down here you've got themes. So this is a great one. So obviously there's different layouts for Songwords you can have. Your site will have their own. But for this one, we can look at Kerith Worship, 2-line worship. And then down here, destination. So we want it to go into our presentation library. If you had multiple libraries, they'd display here. In this example, we just have the one. And if you know you're going to be using it on an upcoming event, then you can import it straight into the playlist by clicking there. That's not the case today. We just want to bring it into our presentation. And let's go import. Take a couple of seconds. Great. That is now our song imported into our library. So we're nearly there. We could jump in and start playing those lyrics out, as you see in the top right. But to make it usable, to make it really flexible and get it into the same format as all of our other song words, there is just one more step to go through. So you're just going to clear that off. We want to use a feature called Reflow, and this is just going to help us organise the song and get it all labelled up so that it can be used in our arrangements. You'll see that it's brought in, it's already kind of detected a verse 1 and a pre-chorus, which is great. Always worth double checking that is how the song is laid out, but generally it does a good job at detecting. But if we go up here, we go into Reflow. This will now break up our song on the left-hand side. So we can scroll through. Generally you're looking to make sure the slide ends at a good point in the song and that you've got a good flow to it. So we're going to scroll through, we'll assume this is all okay. Now for our template, we start to see it's tried to fit in too many words here. So that's really easy to fix. If we click on it, we know it's at the start of chorus, so we know it's here. If we click at the end of the line there, we can go down here and go and insert slide break. And what that does is that just splits it across 2. And again, we've got a couple of, another case of it there. So we'll just click at the end of the word Saviour and insert a slide break. Brilliant. And we've got one more here at the start of verse 2. Fix that. Brilliant. Everything else looks okay. We see we've got a repeat down there. Now, we don't need to have that text left in, so you can come in here and edit it. This is also a great time to look out for any American spellings or anything like that, just to double check it's imported how you think. So, very nearly there. But as you know, in our arrangements, there's 2 things we like to have at the beginning of the song. That's a blank slide for bringing in our background graphic and a blank slide for our interlude, which is also a great clear all slide to have. Really easy to add. Go at the start here, click at this first word, just before the first letter, insert slide break. So now we've got this empty slide. We want to give that a label, so go to the top right, go to group, and then you'll see we've got all these pre-assigned sections. So the first one we want to do is background, and that's done that. And then while we're still there, insert one more slide break, go back to group, interlude. Fantastic. So we now got our background and interlude. You'll see it's tried to be clever and think that everything else in this next section is also part of that. So you do just have to check. So this is no longer being called verse 1. So we'll come back in here, group verse 1, and that relabels it. And then at the very end, we also like to have a blank slide at the end. So you can come right down to the end, insert blank slide, give that a new label, or a new group, sorry. And call it ending. Okay, you'll see on these slides, they are displaying these graphical lines that we've been using, but we don't want them to show up on slides that we haven't got song words for. So top corner here, themes, blank and blank, and that will just clear that. And we'll do that for this next one. And finally, we'll do it for our very last slide. Theme, blank and blank. Brilliant. Come across to the top, go back to show. That song is now really ready to go. The next stage will be to sort its arrangements out, which you'll see in another video. Or if you need to use it quickly, you can of course drag that song from the playlist straight into a playlist up here, so it's ready to go for your Sunday. Okay, in this final part of the video, we're just going to look at importing a song. So let's say it wasn't in Song Select, so you couldn't find it, or it's something new, so it's not in the system yet, or even someone sent through some custom lyrics that you need to import. Just going to show you there's a slightly different first step, and then everything else is the same as what we've just seen. So let's jump into that now. So what you'll do is, instead of going File, Import and Song Select, this time you can do from a file or from Clipboard. In this example, we're going to do Clipboard. So let's say we've been sent some lyrics, or we've looked them up online. So I've got some just here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy, it's quite a long song, so I'm just going to copy this first section, just for our example. Right-click and copy. Equally, you could do that from an email, or you could have typed it up in a Word document, however it's been given to you, or you've been able to get hold of it. Up to the top, File, Import. So you would have gone Song Select, we're going to go Clipboard. It's important you have copied it before you go there, otherwise you'll get an error. So make sure you've copied it first. And then you're basically into exactly the same stage as we've looked at before. So you'll determine how you're going to bring the song in. So we're going to do 2 lines. We're going to do it in our Kerith Worship 2-line format. And we don't want to add it to a playlist. So we're happy with all that. You're going to hit Import. And what you'll see is it's brought it in completely blank, so there's no labelling at all. There's no verse 1, verse 2 or chorus labelling like we saw in the previous example. And that is because it just doesn't have access to any of that information. So doing it this way involves a few more steps. So you can see it's brought it into our library down here. And again, it doesn't know the song title, so it's used the first start of the lyrics. So you can come there and just click and rename it. And then you would then go into your reflow if you've got time, and then set it up properly. So then you'd come in here and start adding your group labels for verse 1, adding in your blank sides, etc., as we saw in the previous part of the video.